What's up, folks? Stu Myrick. Glad you can join us for another week of SGTW Live. Yeah. All right, social media's done. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody is doing well as we got NXT on. Andrew Chase and Von Wagner. Winner goes into the ladder match of Halloween Havoc for the North American Championship. There's Mr. Stone. Oh, and now the girl from Chase Hughes has to. That's funny. Hey, throw the. Oh, there you go. The girl slams Robert Stone. Beautiful. Of course, that's going to give Von Wagner a chance to take the win. And boom. So, anyway, hope everybody's doing well. Justin just texted me. Be here about 7:45, so we'll do that. Tonight we got, of course, preview of Extreme Rules, WWE Extreme Rules, coming up this Saturday from Philadelphia. And right now, there's 6 matches on the card, and all of them are stipulation matches. So, interesting. Very interesting. So we'll do that. We will preview Inspire AD. They got a card this week on Thursday night, in fact, at Pinball's the Lake Creek location here in Austin. And I'll be debuting with a new commentary partner. I know him as Keanu Demir, Kenny Cross. I'll have to find out how to introduce him. But anyway, of course, Eamon Peyton Usry, longtime partner for Inspire, and he's been with Inspire, I think, since day one. He and his husband, Merlin, are now Pittsburghites, moving up to the Northeast, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and all the best to them. So, Keanu and I work together with AAPW. And so, at least it's familiar. So be good. Be good. There's Senga with Nathan Frazier. Interesting. So we got that preview. I'm gonna try to fit in. Impact Wrestling has their flagship pay-per-view this weekend, Bound for Glory, including Mickie James and Mia Yim. And if Mickie loses, she retires. Hey, it's Veer. So I guess we're going to put them two back together. Anyway, so we'll talk. Hopefully we'll get that in as well. Honestly, there's not a lot of AEW news. At least not. I mean, we try to stay away from the drama outside the ring, and unfortunately, that's about the only news they got coming out with this whole thing between Sammy Guevara and Andrade. It's I don't know. It's looking like Tony Khan needs to get a handle on what's going on, because this is on top. This is after Sammy and Eddie Kingston, and of course the fallout from All Out, or the brawl out from All Out. It's not a good look for that company, especially when they're going to come up for negotiations for a new TV deal soon. They need to get their ship in order. So we'll see. Let's see what else. And, of course, if you're here in Austin, you know it is Texas OU week. By the way, it is 7:35 p.m. and OU still sucks. Texas, Oklahoma, the Red River rivalry this Saturday from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. And, of course, the Horn will have you covered all weekend long. They'll be up in Dallas. We'll have all the weekday shows up in Dallas on Friday. Pre-game from Fair Park, post-game, all that good stuff. So stay tuned to the Horn for all your Texas OU coverage. It's going to be interesting. You got Texas coming off, beating West Virginia pretty handily. And you have Oklahoma coming off not one but two losses, back-to-back losses. OU's going to be pissed. But is that enough? We'll see. It sounds like there's a chance that I don't know if Quinn Ewers starts. I think Steve Sarkisian said in his Monday press conference he will be available. Read into that what you will. He said, I think he did say it's the healthiest their quarterback room has been all season. So I guess Hudson Card is not bothered by his ankle anymore. We'll see. We shall see. So, plus the Cowboys, 3-1. I mean, after that disaster, week 1 against Tampa Bay, they have rolled off 3 straight wins, including this past Sunday, beating Washington pretty handily, quite honestly. I mean, there was never a doubt they were going to lose. So we'll see what they do against the Super Bowl champs. They'll be in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. So we'll see what happens. Wendy Chu coming out to the ring. Hard to believe that she was. What was the creepy girl? They did the Asian kind of deal, and she was like against Lash Legend hits her with the pillow. Well, I see. But it's hard to believe that's the same person. But it is. And now she beats up Lash Legend. And then Lash Legend pushes her away because Lash Legend is much taller. What else? So, I have seen and tonight the premiere of Tales from the Territories, the new show from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Danny Garcia, $7 Productions, and Jason Eisner and Evan Husney from Dark Side of the Ring. They sent the media the first 3 episodes, actually. Really good. It takes a little bit of the dark side, but puts in kind of a roundtable discussion with certain individuals. Tonight, they're debuting with the Memphis territory, and they have it's Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Jarrett, Dutch Mantell, Jimmy Hart, Jerry the King Lawler. Is that it? Jeff, Jerry, Dutch. Jeff, Jerry, Dutch, Jimmy Hart, Jerry King Lawler. Yeah. Next week, they go into probably the most, probably the biggest event or biggest moment of that Memphis territory. When next week they'll explore the rivalry between Jerry the King Lawler and Andy Kaufman, the late comedian, and talk about that. And Jerry will give great stories from that. As I said, I got to see. I've seen it. I've seen the first 3 episodes. They sent the screeners to media, and like I said, it's really good. It's really good. So that premieres tonight, I think at 9:00. I think 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on Vice TV. Which, oh, by the way, for those of you like me that have cut the cord and don't have Spectrum cable or a satellite dish, Vice is streamed. It's on Sling. I've got it on Friendly TV, which is a much cheaper alternative. I mean, I have YouTube TV, but this was a cheaper add-on. Because I'm paying like $9 a month for it. And I get it and a bunch of other channels, which is great. But yeah, so Vice TV. So check it out. It's good stuff. Wendy Chu still battling Lash Legend. Lash Legend catches her. Now what's she gonna do? Oh, nope. We're up 1, 2. Nope. So, the motif of NXT has changed. By the way, the logo is cleaner. You don't have the 43 color paint splatter. A lot of red and orange. Red and yellow orange type. Well, Wendy Chu got the win. But yeah. What was her name in Ring of Honor? Kelly Kincaid in NXT now. Quinn something. Look it up. Talking to Wes Lee, a.k.a. Desmond Xavier. Quinn McKay. That was it. Quinn McKay. Of course, it's kind of not to see her with the glasses and the bow tie. And talking to Stax. We've got, Sudu Shaw, who looks to be about 17, with Wade Barrett and Byron Saxton from Monday Night Raw as Vic Joseph is off this week on his honeymoon with Mackenzie Mitchell. They just got married, so congratulations to Vic and Mackenzie. Mackenzie shared a few of the wedding photos on her Instagram. It was very lovely, as you might expect. So, good stuff. Meanwhile, the rivalry between Gallus and Briggs and Jensen isn't over. I guess Gallus still looking to make waves. Toxic Attraction. They're coming out. We don't know if Mandy Rose made it out of the vehicle. Apparently, so they were out in the parking lot, the most dangerous spot in America, the NXT parking lot. And out comes JC Jane and Gigi Dolan, and they get walloped by Alba Fire, and she jumps into the vehicle and it races off. So meanwhile, they're coming out to the ring. It is a number one contenders match. Those two against Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons. Winners, number one contenders to the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. Oh, yes, we have the SmackDown season premiere this Friday night. Logan Paul's coming. Oh, and Gunther is defending the Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus after that incredible match that they had at Clash at the Castle. So we'll see that. So who knows? Sheamus may be going into Extreme Rules as the Intercontinental Champion. And it's the one title he does not have yet. So if he wins that, it'll make him a Grand Slam champion. He's held the world title. He's held the tag titles. Held the U.S. title. But he's not held the Intercontinental title. So he just needs that. You know he'll get cheered. Big time. So. What else? We will mention the passing of Antonio Inoki. You know, I know his legacy, obviously. The founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I will admit I'm not as familiar with his wrestling work. He wrestled in the 60s and the 70s. His impact on pro wrestling is just immeasurable. It's interesting. You hear some of the stories of him as the owner, or in charge of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the rivalries that out of the ring that they had with like All Japan Pro Wrestling and a couple of the other promotions in Japan, and some of the business, and there's some stories out there. You kind of have to say there's that. That always have to qualify everything with that, but nevertheless, I think most everybody will remember him getting in the ring with Muhammad Ali, because he wanted to prove that strong style pro wrestling, and it was something to be respected, and also looking at mixed, that was kind of almost the birth of mixed martial arts, because you had the boxer versus the wrestler, but nevertheless, and of course, then after his wrestling days, went into politics. He was in the Japanese, what they call it, I forget. I think it's their version of their parliament. He negotiated for the release of the hostages in Iraq at the very, very beginning of the Gulf War, the original Gulf War, 1990, 1991. Understand he was highly respected in the country of Japan, not just for what he did in the ring, but for what he did outside the ring. And in fact, I just saw this, and we'll mention it. But New Japan they wanted to name Inoki their honorary lifetime chairman, and he agreed. And this was going to happen October 10th at a New Japan event in Tokyo at the Sumo Hall. Now, obviously, him passing away, I'm sure they will do something to commemorate it. But yeah, they had named him their honorary lifetime chairman, which, hey, he's the founder. So, and there's Justin. Let's see. Comes in as you came in, wearing your pumps, your Reebok pumps.
I got comfort to a certain extent. Man, my foot grew again though. Like I don't have comfortable shoes anymore.
You don't?
No. Did you ever have this problem as you got older?
My feet stopped growing. I don't know. I've been the same shoe size for just about since high school.
Yeah, so had I until like this year or like last year, and now like my foot grew, or it got wider, or something happened. So now like all the shoes that I already own, and I own a lot of shoes. Like
a lot of shoes.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't surprise me. You're kind of
I know.
You're the fashion plate of the show.
I know, that's why I was like, yes, and it's a lot of shoes. You see me pack.
Yes.
It's like I have like 5 different pairs of shoes for a 2-day weekend.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like they don't fit. So like everything fits tight, and I'm just all like, I never really realized like, oh, once you get properly fitted shoes, like, oh, how comfy things can be, and like how like, oh, your back feels better, your knees feel better, like all that stuff improves.
Right.
Yeah, man. But it's just like even these, which are bigger than what I usually buy, are not comfy anymore.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's extremely sad.
Okay. How you been?
I was thinking about that. It was, you know how you do that
He
bit.
was thinking about it.
No, it's true, because you know how you do that bit at the end of the show where we talk about the upcoming events.
Yes, this weekend in independent wrestling.
Yeah,
Yes.
you remember the old school days of like WCW and WWE. Not where they would have the stand-up, but it would be like there's quick hits during the like.
Well, I mean, we used the music from when Tony Schiavone would run down where Jim Crockett Promotion was going to be at.
Yeah, it's going to be like
it's that music.
Yeah, it would be like on Tuesday.
Yeah,
And I was
the
just
Omni
like,
Atlanta, or the what was it, the Norfolk, the Scope in Norfolk, or any of those. Yeah,
because right now it's been like, hey, okay, the Smash World Tour, it stops off from London back into Texas, where he'll be back and performing in Austin. Then this weekend he'll be down in San Antonio, Texas, at the Techport Arena, live at 8 a.m.
Yeah,
and it's just like, and don't forget, then he'll be back in Austin on Sunday, in Georgetown as well, as he does a double shot. And it's just all like, man, I've lost concept of time. My phone wasn't working. Like
I can understand that. I did. I was in San Antonio for a couple of days for work. Left San Antonio, came home, changed, grabbed stuff, went to Boy Scout camp to cook. Mm-hmm. Did Boy Scout camp Friday, Saturday, came back Saturday night, Sunday morning, drove up to Arlington for the Cowboys game, came back, collapsed. Yeah, so I get you.
Yeah,
I get you.
But I was taking care of my nephew, who's like 1. So
oh boy,
yeah, and they don't sleep during the night. So
no, they don't.
Yeah, so there was like sleepless nights already in combination of international travel. So I'm just all like, man, I haven't really even caught up yet.
Oh man, that sucks. That sucks.
No, it was good to see him though. I mean, I don't know when else that's ever going to happen again, So it's just all like, and they're only that age once,
Right.
So I can always have that story when he gets older. I'll be like, I changed your diaper.
Yeah.
I know what's up.
All right, well, you wanna make some radio magic?
As long as the magic comes from the product. And I think they gave us a lot of good stuff to work with this year.
Yeah. So, all right, here we go.
This is WWE superstar Charlotte Flair, and you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Remember, if you're going to do it with Flair. Woo!
When they're not covering the sports world, they're talking about the world of professional wrestling.
It's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Now, with Justin Simmons, here's Stu Myron.
It is Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons, back from the long tour of the United Kingdom.
I guess you could say a long tour, but I mean, it was only one city, so London.
That's okay. That's okay.
But,
We missed you. Big thanks to Mike Supervivi from Wrestling Observer Live for joining me last week. So, how was London?
Oh, I mean, oh man, London's gorgeous. I wish I could go back already, man. The food's good. The weather was perfect. All the ladies were hot. I'm telling you. Or I'm sorry, fit birds, as they call them over there.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
But, oh man, I had a great time. Got to do some gambling. Went to go
right.
see some pubs. Got to spend some time with my family. Yeah, I can't complain.
Cool.
Except for the lack of sleep.
Lack of sleep.
And the jet lag.
That jet lag will get you every time.
I don't know how Ric Flair did it. I honest, and that's just one weekend, man. That's what this guy was doing for years.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Yeah. We are going to preview WWE Extreme Rules, but before we do, we've got to mark the passing of. I don't know where you put him in the pantheon, in the canon of professional wrestling, other than his influence is immeasurable. The great Antonio Inoki, who founded New Japan Pro Wrestling, passed away at the age of 79 on Saturday. And I'll be honest, I'm not as familiar. I mean, I saw a little bit of his in-ring work. I mean, because he wrestled mainly in the 60s and 70s and a little bit into the 80s. But, founding New Japan Pro Wrestling, all the things he had to deal with Giant Baba and All Japan Pro Wrestling and all the business and the politics and all that good stuff. And then, as crazy as it sounds, after wrestling goes into politics, became a member of the Japanese, what do they call it, counselor or something like that? Basically, their parliament.
Yes.
And in fact, he went at the very, very beginning of the original Gulf War, Desert Storm. He went to Iraq to negotiate the freedom of the hostages that Saddam Hussein was keeping. There was a picture I remember seeing in the newspapers. There's Saddam Hussein, and there's Antonio Inoki, who was much bigger, and so he was, influential member of parliament in Japan.
Well, I mean, I can tell you only from, like, what do you call it, retrospective experience. Yeah. But I mean, I've seen a lot of tape, so I've watched a lot of his work, and I enjoy the history in professional wrestling. So when you talk about Antonio Inoki, what we lost is like one of the last branches to the great wrestling past. And I'm talking about the people that really founded the sport. Because while you mentioned he founded New Japan, he is a descendant of the wrestling tree from the most popular pro wrestler
That's
of the
right,
time.
Ricky Dozan. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So with losing Baba, and he was actually essentially teammates with Baba.
Yeah.
Because those were the two guys that were going to take professional wrestling in Japan through the next level, and the generations that were going to expand beyond that. And we've obviously seen both of their contributions to the sport through the people that now continue the sport in Japan and all over the world in a sense. But I mean, it's just father time. And but
and 79 years old, that's a pretty lengthy life in pro wrestling. It's crazy as it sounds.
This is true, but I mean, this is Antonio Inoki. He's almost, if I can describe it like this, he's almost like a godlike figure. Like, I never really thought of him like as a mortal man. Yeah. And you see this, like, I always go back to the what did they call it? It was the Antonio Inoki Bumbaye night and New Year's Eve, where people lined up to get slapped by him in the ring. That way he could instill his, and that was what his character was known for, instilling the fighting spirit, because nobody else had and if you don't know much about Japanese culture, fighting spirit is just the power within yourself to continue, obviously fighting. But he he was that type. You know how you live through your characters in pro wrestling? Like everybody, you know, vicariously lived through Stone Cold Steve Austin because everybody hates their boss. Everybody just wants to drink beer.
Right.
Well, the honor, which is such a huge thing in Japan, and that fighting spirit was pretty much intertwined with him.
Yeah.
And, you know, during a time of when they're just trying to rebuild out of everything.
Yeah. Well, and you know, he was a huge proponent of wrestling being as legitimate as possible. Everybody remembers when he stepped in the ring with Muhammad Ali. You know, and that was almost kind of, some say that was the birth of mixed martial arts, seeing the boxer versus the wrestler.
I mean, you couldn't get two bigger names at the time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, in their respective fields to go against each other. And that, I mean, when you really wrap your head around it, it's just like, whoa, that was crazy that ever even took place. But to know that he was on that stature to step into the ring with Muhammad Ali, you know, the greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
I mean, that means that you have to rank really high up there to even be considered.
Yeah. Yeah. It ironically, New Japan had planned to honor him. And he agreed to do this. He was going to be named the honorary lifetime chairman of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they were going to do the kind of a ceremony or something at their next big card called Declaration of Power on October 10th at Sumo Hall in Tokyo. Of course, then he passes away. They agreed to this last month, and then he passes away. I'm sure there will be something, you know, some sort of commemoration at that event, but thoughts and prayers to his family, his friends, the entire wrestling community, especially there in Japan. And Tony Enoki, leaving us at the age of 79. And, you know, as I said, that's a lifetime in pro wrestling. But man, you're right. He did have that more of a man type of, you know, aura around him. So
yeah, I mean, obviously special. Like, not everybody comes in with that, and it just seems so natural to him that it just never. I really just can't fathom that he's gone.
Yeah,
you know, it's still kind of just weird because I just figured that he would kind of like the Queen, like they just live forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to WWE Extreme Rules coming up this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On Peacock, it will come to us from the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, the home of the 76ers. Right now, and we are taping this on Tuesday night, as of right now, we have 6 matches on the card. All 6 of them stipulation matches, which we haven't seen that a lot in previous Extreme Rules premium live events.
Yeah, but management's changed.
Management has changed, so
they've
this
been putting
is
on their own
interesting.
twist.
Yeah. We have the good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. And they're actually calling it good old-fashioned Donnybrook match.
But you get the inside joke, though,
yes.
right? No. Do you understand why they're using the word Donnybrook, though, right?
Well, it's because you got 2 European teams.
No, my man. It is part of pro wrestling WWE history. So back in the day, they actually shot this one show called Donnybrook Theater. And it was hosted by Todd Pettengill. And they only did it one time. Like, they never really showed it.
Okay.
And it had a skit with Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji. And basically, it was just like an improv. So, like, you know, people would be telling stories, and then he would be acting it out. It was called Donnybrook Theater. So it's like a little wink and a nod to, like, the hardcore WWE fans that, you know about that one little weird smidgen in history.
Sure. It is the Brawling Brute, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch, Pete Dunne, whatever you want to call him, against Imperium, Gunther, Giovanni Vinci, and Ludwig Kaiser. Now, here's the funny thing. When that match rolls around Saturday, Sheamus may be going in as Intercontinental Champion because Friday night on SmackDown, they have their, quote, season premiere, even though they don't take a break. Gunther is defending the Intercontinental title against Sheamus after that incredible match they had at Clash at the Castle.
You just wonder how they can top that, right?
So we may be seeing, may see Sheamus, which, by the way, if Sheamus wins it, that's the only title he needs to become a Grand Slam champion.
Yes.
So,
I But I mean, I'm excited to even see the matchup because all 6 of those guys are going to bring it, and it's going to have a great feel to the match, and it probably will be the start. Hopefully, that starts off the show because I don't think you can start off with a hotter, more crowd pleasing match.
I think a lot of it's going to depend on what happens Friday night, and I think the popular feeling right now is Sheamus wins the title.
I'd like to see it.
Which would lend me to believe that means Imperium will win at Extreme Rules.
Isn't Gunther like one of the longest reigning Intercontinental champions now?
No, not even close.
But I mean, he's held it for like
a couple months, maybe.
You sure?
Yeah.
It hasn't been longer than that.
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Because you know how you know how we discuss long title reigns.
Yeah, I know. But I don't think it's that long. 2-3 months maybe.
Because like it's just kind of like
he beat Ricochet on SmackDown. I don't think he's held it. But I could be wrong.
I'm just curious now.
Maybe in June. So July, August, September, 4 months.
So is this a long enough time?
It's kind of long. I mean, I guess.
Because I mean, you also have to build up Imperium too.
Yeah.
Because now that they just kind of reunited.
Well, like I said, that's why I think I'm gonna go Imperium on this one.
Ooh.
So
I'm thinking Brutes.
Okay.
Yeah. You like that Butch is dressed in Pete Dunne clothing though?
Yeah, and in fact he and Ridge Holland made an appearance on NXT, and the NXT crowd kept chanting Bruiser.
Oh, right now?
Yeah. So
that's so funny.
In an I Quit match, Edge taking on Finn Balor. Finn Balor will have the Judgment Day ringside.
This is another match where it's kind of like a nod to the fans because Finn Balor had been requesting a one-on-one match for Edge because they've never faced each other one-on-one. So this is going to be really cool to see.
Yeah.
I mean, they're giving us a lot of good stuff.
They are, some good matches. I think I'm going to lean Finn Balor.
Ooh. Yeah.
Just because they want to keep Judgment Day kind of strong, and Edge can take the loss, and there might be chicanery.
I was going to say you already know that it's not going to be a clean match, but I guess technically non-clean because there's no disqualification in an I Quit match.
Right.
So yeah, I'm assuming that unless we see like an extra development. And this might set up something. That's what I think what's going to happen. We might see a setup for Survivor Series between these two factions.
I think we could.
So maybe we'll get an appearance of another character that will be siding with Edge and Rey Mysterio that isn't AJ Styles because it looks like he has his own thing going on now.
It's possible.
So I'm interested.
We'll see. In a strap match, Drew McIntyre taking on Karrion Kross. I hate to go three heels in a row, but I think Karrion Kross gets this win. I don't know why.
Man, that's tough.
This one's a tough one.
I'll say Drew, just because I think they owe him.
You know what? Just because he's been on our show, I'm gonna say Drew too.
I think they owe him for the loss at Clash at the Castle.
Yeah, you may be right.
And he needs to be staying in that upper tier.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming at some point he's going to get the belt back. I just don't know when that's going to happen.
I don't either. In a fight pit, Seth Rollins, Matt Riddle, special guest referee, the UFC Hall of Famer, the double champ, Daniel Cormier. That's going to be a hell of a... That'll be great.
Did Eddie and Jordan talk about this on their show?
I have to find out. I didn't Seth Seth and Riddle, I think I might go Matt Riddle.
Well, it is the best feud right now that isn't revolving around a championship in WWE.
Yeah.
And it's been the most entertaining, most personal feud
Yeah.
that we've had in a while. And this kind of harkens back to WWF Attitude Era stuff.
Yeah, it does. Who you picking?
Go Rollins.
You're gonna go Rollins.
He's
Okay,
the MVP.
here's a kind of the sidebar thing. Does something happen in here to set Daniel Cormier up to get in the ring sometime? Maybe in Saudi Arabia.
I mean, well, you say Saudi Arabia, there's your answer right there. It's like, as long as he back up the dump truck, yes, of course there's always a chance. But no.
But I mean, he is very popular. He loves WWE.
Yes.
Remember back when SmackDown was moving to Fox? Fox wanted him as one of the commentators.
I remember.
I think they might find a way to set something up.
I mean, I like the idea.
Maybe him and Brock.
I mean, but that's the only way it works.
Yeah.
You can't just bring in Daniel Cormier and have him do Ronda Rousey the entire roster, because that's essentially what is going to happen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which is kind of funny
because it's that whole suspension of disbelief. Daniel Cormier could beat up everybody on the roster.
Yeah, you assume that he would legitimately be able to take down everyone,
right,
including Brock Lesnar. So, but Brock would be like that. It's the two alphas going against each other.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I could see it working. Maybe a Roman Reigns match, but that's really the only thing that I could see them putting him in the ring for.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought, yeah. Then our two title matches, both women's titles. Let's start with SmackDown. SmackDown women's title in a Extreme Rules match. Liv Morgan defending against Ronda Rousey.
And I've liked the build-up so far.
I've liked the build-up. Oh, man, I don't know which way to go here.
Oh, it's easy. It's going to be Liv Morgan, because this is her title reign, and it's an Extreme Rules match. So this gives an easy out for Ronda to lose when she takes the L, and this will make it kind of even footing character-wise for those two going against each other.
I tend to agree with you. It would not shock me in the least if Ronda wins, but something tells me Liv finds a way.
But it's like Ronda doesn't need to win.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
know.
like, why? And as we build towards WrestleMania again, where she's obviously a marquee player for them because of the name value, I'm just trying to figure out how do they fit her into this, burgeoning women's division when you have even the old school players, just like a Becky Lynch, who's obviously not available. Sasha's, kind of rumored to come back or not.
Yeah.
And Charlotte, she's due to come back. But I mean, or Bayley, they've been out. So none of those ladies have held the title, the original 4 horsewomen. Right. And it's like, yeah, WWE does need to think about building new stars in the women's division besides Bianca Belair.
True. Speaking of which, Bianca Belair defending the Raw women's title against Bayley in a ladder match. We saw the beatdown Monday night on Raw. Damage Control beating up Asuka and Bianca and Alexa Bliss, which I think back when Vince was still around would lead you to believe that Bianca's going to win. Now, I don't know. I get the feeling Bayley, they want Damage Control with the gold. I think something tells me Bayley comes out with the title.
You thinking it's kind of like a female version of Undisputed Era?
A little bit.
Kind of getting that vibe from it. I don't know. I just don't. I think Bianca is so popular.
She is a fantastically popular. You're right.
I mean, obviously Bayley's over in her role too, but I just don't see the belt coming off of Bianca. It's been way more entertaining this way. I mean, I think the big question here is since her backup, but Belair's backup essentially got beat down, do they come back, or is this paving the way for Naomi and Sasha Banks to show up? Because my social media went crazy because And I'll give credit to United
We-
Airlines. They did have this live, so I could watch it live on the flight home.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
We had, there were the rumors that might have signed, but we haven't seen squat. Meanwhile, Sasha Banks doing all these modeling things and on her Instagram. So I don't know. The only other thing about Extreme Rules, are you the White Rabbit?
No, there's no QR codes on me here.
Okay.
Are you?
No, I am not.
Do you know who
So,
it is? Because I'm still trying to figure it out.
It's going to be Bray. Yeah, it's going to be Bray.
Is it to the point where you would be disappointed if it wasn't Bray?
I think the entire WWE universe, pardon me for saying that, I think if it's not Bray, it's going to be a huge disappointment.
Really?
Yeah.
So they built
Because
it.
everything's pointing to Bray.
So have they done a good job in this build-up though? For
It's
this?
been fun. I mean, the QR code Monday Night on Raw was a little weird, but I now that I've read a few things, I'm going, okay, I guess I could see that. But yeah, it's got to be Bray.
Because I've had fun, even though I guess I still really don't know what the outcome is. Like, you seem very sure about this, and I'm
Well, I don't know what happens past that, and I don't know, like, is he going to come out in, like
A rabbit
interfere in a
suit?
match or what, and what happens with Alexa Bliss? Do we put her back with Bray? I don't know, and that's going to be the interesting thing. Is
'cause she
after
also
all
got
this,
beat up, right?
yeah. So after all that, assuming it is Bray, and he's going to get a huge pop, then what?
Yeah, and how do you I'm assuming he'll still be Bray Wyatt. Like, they're not going to change his whole name or anything.
I
just a
hope
different
he's not the
character?
Fiend. I hope it's back to
This,
maybe cult leader Bray.
I don't know, man. It seems like this. Like, again, they kind of try to do it with the Judgment Day, but it doesn't go full Undertaker. And pro wrestling always needs a supernatural vibe to it now because of the Undertaker. And I
Yeah.
think this is how the WWE
Might be.
will fulfill that.
Yeah. That is WWE Extreme Rules this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Watch it on Peacock from Philly. Going to take a quick timeout when we come back. We'll Inspire After Death has a card this Thursday night. We'll talk about it next on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. All right. We will talk about it with my new commentary partner. I know Keanu, but you got to find out where to. Dadgummit, there it is. All right. Yes.
Hello?
Keanu.
Hey, Stu.
Hey, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Okay, before we get going, what do I call you?
That's a good question. They announced me as Keanu,
Yeah,
but my work name is Kenny Cross.
I know that. So
That's a good question. I don't know. So I'd rather go by Kenny Cross, to be completely honest with you.
well, then we'll go with Kenny Cross. I don't care.
Awesome.
And that's and I'll introduce you as that Thursday night.
I appreciate that.
So,
seriously.
Yeah. All right, man. We're gonna do an intro. By the way, say hi to Justin.
Hey, Kenny.
Hey, Justin.
All right, so I'm gonna hit an intro, and then we'll talk about you first. You joining commentary, and then briefly go over the card. Okay.
Okay.
All right, man. Here we go. Twitch and YouTube got mute for just a moment so we don't get in trouble. Be right back.
Alrighty.
Walking through the door,
Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons. Inspire After Death has The Long Walk Home. I love these titles. I gotta get in the head of Max Meehan, find out how he comes up with these titles. Thursday night at Pinball's Arcade, the Lake Creek location, 183 North here in Austin. Bell time 7 p.m. And for the first time in 6 years, I will be on commentary with a new partner. You know, our longtime friend, Eamon Peyton Usry, the longtime voice of Inspire. He and his husband, Merlin, up in the Northeast, enjoying Pittsburgh, and we wish them all the best. I will have a new commentary partner, although we've done commentary before at AAPW, a few other places. It is Kenny Cross joining me. Kenny, coming to us on the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. What's up, Kenny?
How you doing, Stu? It's so good to finally hear your voice again, and I'm looking forward to working with you again after, almost 2 years now, huh?
It's been a while, yeah. So it'll be great to work with you again. As I mentioned, you and I did commentary for AAPW for a bit. You've done some stuff down in the Houston area. You're also a manager. What does this mean to you, though, to join the commentary team for a promotion that is as respected as Inspire?
Oh, it means the world to me, Stu. I mean, Inspire has been around for so many years. So many, high-level, high-profile talent have walked through those curtains, like Ricky Starks, Keith Lee. It's definitely heartwarming and totally exciting to know that I'll be sharing, the environment with a promotion that has had, such talent on over the past years. I get to finally be a part of that experience, be a part of that family. I cannot wait, honestly.
Yeah.
Now, Kenny, I have to ask, are you a little nervous, though, that you're working side by side by somebody that is a Hall of Famer? No, for real. I mean, I'm just saying. No, I'm just looking at it on the wall right now. I was like, wait, you are in the Hall of Fame? This is a brand new show. I know you guys have worked together, but, I mean, going into a new environment, how are you feeling?
I am definitely nervous, but I know for a fact that Stu is, I know what he's capable of. He taught me everything I knew on commentary. He showed me how to evolve my character and break out of that shell. Honestly, I mean, yeah, I'm still nervous, but I know Stu can carry me.
That's crazy. But isn't that crazy how it all comes full circle, though?
Kenny, I appreciate the kind words. You did just fine. All I did was just sit there with you. So, man, and boy, we are, we're debuting on a great card. You look at this card, start up this triple threat. Rachel Rose defending the Inspire Championship against Teflon John and Will Allday. We've watched these three go round and round the last several months. Teflon John, he wants to believe he's earned the title of Mr. Inspire after beating Steve Areno several months ago. Will Allday kicking his head in last month, and Rachel Rose has had her problems with this. You've watched these three. You've seen them going around. Give me your thoughts on this triple threat match. Do you think Rachel Rose comes out of there without the belt?
I mean, I have to think there's definitely a case. I mean, when you go up in a triple threat, it's always, kind of unfair odds, because now you realize you're not the one that can get pinned or submitted to lose the title. Your opponent the third man can get pinned. And that's always something that you really have to look out for in these triple threat matches. Rachel Rose is a fierce competitor. She's definitely one of the top tier talents in Inspire After Death. But I've also seen just how scary Teflon John can actually be. Just how, when by hook or by crook, Teflon John can pull out the win on some crazy, some crazy things and whatnot. And Will Allday, I mean, I've seen a couple of his matches now, especially like in Houston a couple of months ago. I don't know exactly, like, he's kind of the wild card in my opinion. Will Allday, looks the part. He believes that he's the part. He can be that guy for Inspire, and he can honestly walk away there with the new Inspire Pro Championship if Rachel Rose isn't careful.
Yeah, I think you're right. They all three of them just hard going. The other title match we've got, Great Scott defending the Undefinable Championship against Dmitry Alexandrov. Now, look, I was a Russian linguist in the Army, so Dmitry Alexandrov is a man near and dear to my heart. He's going to have a tough test with Great Scott. Great Scott he's got that kind of clever evilness to him. He'll find a way to keep that title. It may not be through physicality, but give me your thoughts on the Bear Fighter taking on Great Scott.
I mean, I absolutely agree with you, Stu. Great Scott is definitely one of the most conniving, one of the most dastardly villains that Inspire AD has. Just like how you said, he will find a way to get under the skin of the Bear Fighter, just to kind of get into his head and hopefully, get the Bear Fighter to make that fatal mistake that might end up costing him the Undefinable Championship. But when you look at Dmitry Alexandrov, oh my goodness, man, the man's on fire right about now, honestly. He is definitely taking names and making a name for himself. He is definitely worthy of being the Undefinable champion at Inspire. And he's one of the best, honestly, when it comes to just his overall in-ring prowess.
Yeah, I think you're right. You look at Luigi Primo. Now, we've seen the clip from our event on WrestleMania weekend up in Arlington. He was in the ring and doing his thing, and that clip has gone absolutely viral to the point we've now seen him on AEW Dynamite. And, he's partying with the Jericho Appreciation Society and all this stuff. Thursday night, he faces Mel 5K. You and I know Mel pretty well. He's a AAPW graduate. This is going to be a fun match to watch those two mix it up.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I have much love and respect for both Luigi Primo and Mel 5K. I mean, seriously, these two, they have, oh my goodness. For Luigi and Mel to be on that one clip that went super viral a couple of months ago, I look at what Luigi has been able to do, and I can see that Mel does feel some type of way. He feels kind of like the man that was left out. Now Luigi's out there on television. He's getting all the names, he's getting all the sponsors, he's getting all the autographs, and Mel, well, and I look at it. It's definitely going to be a great match between these two. I can't wait to see what these two can bring up. Maybe they can top their viral clip a couple months ago. Who knows, really?
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a lot of fun. 8 matches in all. It is Inspire After Death, the Long Walk Home this Thursday at Pinball's Arcade, the Lake Creek location, 183 North in Austin. Bell time, 7 p.m. Before I let you go, let's talk for a second Inspire AD on YouTube. So we've done these TV tapings. They've decided the TV thing wasn't working, so we are putting the episodes on YouTube. They're called WrestleSplosion, and the first episode debuted on Saturday morning. Episodes coming out every Saturday morning, I think at 10 a.m. Central. Just talk for a second about getting Inspire AD out to the masses via YouTube.
Oh man, this is what wrestling is nowadays. It's you want to have all the access to see all of the matches without having to be curtailed by paywall subscriptions or any type of weird time frame and whatnot. WrestleSplosion definitely does cater to the wrestling fan, and it is free, everybody. Free on YouTube. You don't have to, pay $10 a month or anything like that. You have to just go onto YouTube and just enjoy wrestling on Saturday. And let me tell you, Inspire will provide just that pure entertainment, it will cater to every audience of wrestling and sports entertainment fans alike. You don't want to miss it. Every Saturday morning, just log on to YouTube.com and just look up WrestleSplosion. And I can't wait to see the more episodes that come out, throughout the weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Enjoying all those episodes on YouTube. He is Kenny Cross. He will join me on commentary this Thursday night, Inspire 80, The Long Walk Home. Kenny, man, I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna have a lot of fun on Thursday night. Get your voice ready, and I'll see you then. All right.
I'm already drinking tea just in preparation.
There you go. All right, man. That worked. This is going to air tomorrow night on the Horn, and of course, be on the podcast and all that good stuff. And I'll make sure to tag you on all the socials.
Man, you're gonna be great tomorrow, man. I can hear the love and your excitement for the whole product. So I imagine it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be fun. All right, man. I'll see you on Thursday. Okay.
All right. See you, Justin.
Later.
All right. Bye bye. Like I said, I've worked with Kenny before, and he's fantastic. He's knowledgeable.
You can hear it in his voice. He has a true passion for this business, and I can
really
tell that it comes
hard.
through. Yeah.
He works so hard. Real quick, want to talk Impact Wrestling. They've got their flagship pay-per-view this Friday night, Bound for Glory. Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Get it on pay-per-view or Fight TV. It'll come to us from the Albany Armory in Albany, New York. Main event, Josh Alexander defending the Impact World title against Eddie Edwards. We'll see if Eddie Edwards can get that title and this time bring it back to Honor No More. You got Jordan Grace defending the Knockouts World title against Masha Slamovich. The Kingdom, the current Impact Tag Team Champions, they will defend against the Motor City Machine Guns.
How cool is that?
That's going to be a great match.
How cool is that to see those tag teams go against each other?
That's going to be a long time. Mike Bailey defending the X Division Championship against a former X Division champion in Frankie Kazarian.
Of all people, right? I was just like, no way, man. This is like they pulled out all the stops for this pay-per-view.
I kind of hope Frankie wins. He can light up an American Rebel cigar afterwards. Chelsea Green, Deonna Purrazzo defending the Knockouts Tag Team Championships against Jessica, the former Havoc, and Taya Valkyrie. They'll have what's her name? Rosemary in their corner. You heard Mickie James bring us into the segment. Mickie James facing Mia Yim, and Mickie has said that the next match she loses, she will retire.
Yeah, and every it's been a good story. I've really we've seen all her work since her WWF days.
Yeah.
So I've been following her career, but I'm thinking she pulls it off this week. And
it's
just
possible.
good to go. 6
times WWE Women's Champion, 4-time Impact Knockouts Champion, so 10 world titles in all.
I'm not ready to see her step away just yet.
I'm not either.
But I understand, when you want to, it's your career.
She's got her music career. She's got her family. So,
but she can still go.
But
she's still good. That's why I'm like, I'm not ready for it yet.
You also got the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match right now. PCO, Rich Swann, Giselle Shaw, Heath, Gujar, Bobby Fish.
Yeah, man.
Recently of AEW. Moose, Steve Macklin, Sammy Callahan. More will be added. Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a. And then on top of all that, Raven going into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Oh, definitely well deserved.
Quote the Raven, nevermore. What about me? That's Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory this Friday night in Albany, New York, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Pay-per-view, Fight TV. Tom Hannafin and Matthew Renwalt will have the call. They'll knock it out of the park.
It's still weird to call him by his real name every time I hear it. But, I mean, you just look at this card, though. Man, top to bottom, it looks great.
Impact puts on some good wrestling.
Yeah, I feel bad because we don't talk about them enough.
We don't, and we should talk about
but
more.
I don't get to watch them, So.
There's only so many hours during the week.
Yeah, it's like I just catch it in reviews and clips, but I mean, from what I've seen, I'm totally invested in Josh Alexander. I remember when he was going through the independent scene, so I love to see him here.
Huge fan of Josh. I've met him several times. I interviewed him a couple times.
Yeah, he's a great
such
guy.
a good dude.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll let you know what's happening in independent wrestling around the area. You're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, and you're listening to The Horn.
I mean, when you really think about it, I mean, between WWE, the Inspire show, and then like Impact, I mean, it's a great week for some pro wrestling.
Fantastic.
And like all good cards.
Yeah, it's especially if you're a wrestling fan, especially if you're here in Austin, like you said, come out to the Inspire show. I know we got some tickets still available. It is a great atmosphere there at Pinballs. They got the food, they got the drinks, and just a great night of action. And then you got Impact on Friday night and Extreme Rules on Saturday night.
Yeah, it just lines up perfectly for a really great week, close to the end of the week of wrestling.
It does.
I was thinking about that Pinballs location, though. It's like, after you're done with the show, I mean, there's so much to do afterward, too. So, like, you can make a whole night. You can make an entire night out of it,
Go play some games. So, yeah, it's going to be great. So,
do you hit up the old school pinball machines while you're there?
I don't.
Did you ever used to play pinball? I know it was illegal.
I actually have pinball. I have pinball games on my iPad.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
Because that and solitaire is about the only thing I play.
Okay.
So,
It was kind of weird because I don't travel like that, so I was trying to figure out how to kill time. And thankfully, on these international, like everybody, I guess they all have screens now on all their flights.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that helps. But I remember traveling back in the day, and there weren't a whole lot of options, so you needed like a good little gaming device. But now they had the games on the screen at the because they're all touchscreen.
Yeah.
On the planes, and I was all like, man, their game sucked. It's super simplistic, but I'm glad they're there. I'm sure they would entertain like a 6-year-old.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I was like, I didn't know that I wish they had pinball. Now that you mention it, it would have worked out great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's they're the pinball games I have. I mean, they're fun. I've got like a Bob's Burgers one because I'm a fan of Bob's Burgers.
Oh, you like Bob's Burgers too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, man, I love Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So
I just haven't. Have you seen the movie?
I did.
Okay, is it worth my time?
It is if you're a Bob's Burgers fan.
Okay, yeah, because I
mean, it's out now. You can get it on.
Oh, they had.
I think it might be streaming on Prime or.
It is.
HBO Max or one of them.
They had it available on the plane to watch, and I just didn't like. I found it as there wasn't enough time left to actually get invested into it, so it was just like, I didn't. And plus, like the writing is so quick. You really have to hear what they're saying. It was kind of hard to hear with the cheap earphones that the plane gave me, so I couldn't invest myself into the movie.
Yeah, it's but yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So. Let me do a quick calculation. 36.
You remember that episode of Bob's Burgers where he works as what did that guy call it? He bought himself the jazz place or whatever, and he works as the cook for him that one night. Jazzperium or something.
Oh yeah. And it was actually it was Mr. Fishoder and his brother, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Nuts. So
the writing's just so good.
It is. It's fun. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Be right back. Twitch, YouTube. Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, Stu Myrick, Justin Smash Simmons.
That's always cool when you pull one out from the vault like that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
It's been a while. It was great to meet Jerry and talk to him a bit. Got a couple of cards that going on this weekend we got to tell you about. We will start in Sherman. Texoma Pro Wrestling presenting Shocktoberfest Friday night at the Sherman Elks Lodge. Bell time 8 p.m. Central. Tim Storm, Tommy Prince, Wobble, and more. That's Texoma Pro Wrestling this Friday night in Sherman. Ultimate Victory Wrestling presents Unchained Saturday at the Houston Premier Arena. Bell time 7:30 p.m. Central. Alex Arsenal, Jared Wade, Paul Jourdain, and more. That's Ultimate Victory Wrestling this Saturday night in Houston. And that's a look at independent wrestling around the area, wherever you may be. Go out and support independent wrestling. There is a new series on Vice, and in fact, it debuts this week. Tales from the Territories. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Danny Garcia from Seven Bucks Productions, alongside Jason Eisner and Evan Husney from Dark Side of the Ring. It is a take. It's exactly what it sounds like. Tales from the different territories. They were kind enough to send media the first 3 episodes to screen.
Awesome.
Fantastic show. I think this week is the Memphis territory. And then I believe next week is probably one of the most significant events in the Memphis territory. Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler.
Like you look at me like I actually know what happened. I'm like, bro, I wasn't born yet. I'm sorry. So you have to tell me about it.
It's fantastic, and they do it. It's kind of the mix of what you see from Dark Side of the Ring, but they also have a round table. So like for the Memphis territory talk, they had Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Jarrett.
Oh, wow.
Jerry the King Lawler, Dutch Mantell, and Jimmy Hart.
Oh, those are all just like
which
Hall of Famer
there's
people.
your one.
Yeah.
That's kind of the
that's a Hall of Fame class right there.
And they were the base of the Memphis territory, the old CWA, and it's that same 5 for the Andy Kaufman one.
That's crazy.
As I said, fantastic deal, and looking forward to seeing more. It looks like they're going to talk about the Von Erichs and World Class. They'll talk the AWA. They're going to talk other territories, and it'll be neat to see this. Brian Gewirtz, who I had on a month or 2 ago, he's one of the executive producers of this as well.
Oh, cool.
The longtime writer for WWE.
Yeah, that guy has some stories.
He's fantastic. So make sure you check it out. I believe it's on at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on Vice TV. Tales from the Territories. So make sure you check that out. Football this weekend. Let's start in the high school ranks. Friday night, Lake Travis, coming off the bye, coming off the loss to Westlake. They will be at home at Cavalier Stadium to host Del Valley. Pre-game, 7:15 p.m. Central. Kickoff at 7:30 p.m. Central. Mark Honig, Bucky Godbolt in the booth, and yours truly on the sidelines. You can hear that on 104.9 FM and hornfm.com. Vandergrift will host McNeil. Pregame for that game is at 6:45 p.m. Kickoff at 7 p.m. You can hear that on 101.9 FM and AM 1260. And LBJ taking on Lhasa, the Liberal Arts and Science Academy.
Got a team?
Yes, they have a team.
Wow, since they split with LBJ?
Yes. That game will be at Nelson Field. Pregame 7:15, kickoff 7:30 p.m. Central. You can hear that on 105.3 The Bat. Then Saturday, this is the week. It's Texas OU week. Texas and Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. OU coming off back-to-back losses. Texas, meanwhile, coming off the big win against West Virginia. Should be a great game. Pre-game from Fair Park in Dallas, 7 a.m. And then the kickoff, 11 a.m. Turn down the TV sound. Turn up the radio. You can hear it on the horn, on Coke FM. And for Spanish broadcast, go to 105.3 The Bat. And then Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys coming off the big victory against Washington. That defense looked fantastic. They will take on the L.A. Rams, the Super Bowl champs. Pre-game, 2:30 p.m. kickoff, 3:25 p.m. Central. You can hear that on the horn. And that'll do it for this week's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin the Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at The Smash Simmons. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the show on Twitter and Twitch at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We live stream on YouTube and Twitch most Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central. You can also catch us Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central on the flagship station for the Texas Longhorns and your radio home in Austin for the Dallas Cowboys. We are the Horn, 104.9, 101.9 FM, and AM 1260. Or you can catch us anytime on demand by either going to hornfm.com and click on the on-air tab, or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. Make sure you rate and review us while you're there. For Justin, I'm Stu. Thank you so much for giving us part of your time. Have a great rest of your week. Remember, OU still sucks, and we will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
And there we go. The Brawling Brutes on NXT with Briggs and Jensen and the other two guys.
I was gonna say I don't even know who the other two guys are. I don't even know who Briggs and Jensen are. So I'm just
I know I don't know which one's Briggs and which one's Jensen, but I know they're Briggs and Jensen. So
I have no clue. I was just like, it's good though that I like seeing the upper card talent come down to NXT, and it kind of gives these kids a good rub.
It's fight night. It's fight night.
All right, is NXT getting Halloween Havoc this year?
Yes, NXT has Halloween.
Oh,
Havoc
they're wrestling?
coming up. Yes, they're wrestling.
They're wrestling for real?
Yes.
Is this like a tune-up for Extreme Rules for them or something?
It's I don't know, but they're wrestling. So yeah, and I do like how they're letting Butch look like Pete Dunne again.
Yeah, like I don't mind the name change so much. It was just like the clothes.
What's funny is everybody gets all twisted up about name changes. And I get the name change. It's it's nothing more than WWE wants something to copyright.
Yeah.
Don't want to take their name away from them, so they give them a different name so that they can copyright it, make merchandise, whatever, all that good stuff. And then when that person leaves WWE, they still have their name to make money off. They learned it. They learned that with Cody.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's simple. So I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, they come up with some weird names, and they think it's Marvel Comics or something, but still.
But
okay.
I give them credit though, because everybody's like Butch, and I'm like, how many Butches do you know? Exactly.
Actually, I know one.
Yeah, but you only know like one. I know a lot of Pete's.
I know a few Pete's.
Yeah. But I very rarely do you hear the name Butch anymore.
Yeah.
So it's all like it works because it's all like it's unique, it's different.
Yeah, why not?
And that's what you want as a WWE superstar. You need to be able to stand out amongst a roster of people that are at the top 1%, of their field.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I get it. So, yeah, Friday night's gonna be fun, and then of course, Saturday night with Extreme Rules.
So for Thursday, does that mean that you move to lead now?
No. He's going. I think he's going to be. He's going to do play-by-play. I'm sticking with color analyst.
Really?
Yeah. I'm much more comfortable doing color analyst.
Oh. Okay.
And it's kind of it's not a strict play-by-play color. I mean, I'll do a little, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I usually thought it was just like, oh, okay, now.
Oh no. It's just because I'm the senior.
Yeah, basically.
Commentator. I'm still going to do color. Yeah. So, but it'll be fun.
Are you nervous to have a new partner, even though you've worked together, just because it's like a first time deal, kind of like going on a first date?
I mean, I always get a little nervous doing it just because you want to do a good job.
Well, yeah, of course, but
not necessarily nervous having Kenny instead of Eamon. It's going to be a different vibe for sure. But
yeah,
no.
because I mean, 6 years is a long time.
Yeah,
so it's just like the timing.
Eamon and I were together for 6 years.
The familiarity.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I've been a broadcaster for a long time too, but every time I get a new partner, it doesn't just necessarily like it it takes a little while to figure out what's going to click and what doesn't.
Right.
And it takes a while for that, so it becomes like the familiarity at the back of your hand.
Exactly. So, but no, I think we'll do a fine job. I did watch a little bit of the first WrestleSplosion on YouTube just to hear us, and we had fun, and that it included the match where it was T-Ray and Warren G from Fly Death taking on Kiefer Bartek and Cam Cole. T-Ray and Warren G won, and they got this was the first card back when they got the mystery bag championships, and Warren G pulls out the red, I think it was the red Twin Dragon Connection belt, and then T-Ray pulls out that Pure Prestige championship. So that was a lot of fun. So.
I mean, and you guys have been packed like every single show, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a big room, but it's
Yeah, but it looks good though because it's packed.
And that's part of I think that's part of the deal. But yeah, it's always a great crowd. It always makes me nervous because you'll have fans standing along the wall right next to the ring, and I'm going, God, I hope somebody doesn't get like crushed or something.
Oh, I mean, I've seen some of those Aspire match. I always remember the match where it was Steve Orino versus Matthew Palmer, and they literally bring out a kitchen sink.
Yes, then the holds barred.
Yeah, but I mean, they did everything in that match, and my big concern even then was just like, there's some space in there. I looked it up.
Quinn McKay.
Yes,
that was her name in Ring of Honor.
I was going to tell you, I didn't think you were going to be that hardcore about it, but I remembered it like a couple of days later. I was like, that's her name.
Only because she is involved with Dak Draper. Dak Draper was, he was always one of our favorite, interviews.
I'm just like, she doesn't look anything like the character from
Once
ROH.
told me I was doing the Lord's work and working in sports radio. I said, Dak, I appreciate you. Just for that, I'm rooting for you every time. But yeah. It is weird not seeing her with the bow tie in the glasses.
Like she looks like a completely different person.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I mean, that's part of that. The WWE shine.
It is.
It's like they're trying to build you to be a face.
Well, and
again,
a star. It's a different name, different whatever. I get it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's good for her though in her career. It's good for the paycheck. I'm happy with all that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she gets.
That's what I was thinking about with Luigi Primo. I'm just kind of like, man, I'm hoping that he's got to make some money off of this and that he's going to get some more bookings. But I'm like, what can they possibly do now? Because now I feel like, there's expectations, so it's like they got to be able to top what they had topped before.
I mean, I don't think there's so much. What do you mean? Let me ask you. What do you mean by expectations?
Well, who was Luigi Primo? Because the last time something like this went viral, it was inside an Inspire ring.
Right. It was at the WrestleMania weekend show. It was Luigi Primo.
Yeah, because
I got to think a second. They were in there against the Born Haters. And I'm trying to think no, he wasn't in there with Red Scare and Great Depression. I think it was just Luigi Primo. I think it was Luigi Primo and two guys. Oh, it was who were they? Oh, dadgummit. They masked wrestlers. But yeah, it was Luigi Primo and two masked wrestlers taking on the Born Haters.
Okay, so
and it was a total comedy wrestling match. I mean, I think in the middle of the match they all stopped and sat in the ring and did like a kumbaya moment. It was pretty funny,
which I totally believe. But it kind of makes me think that there's expectations for Luigi Primo to do something more outlandish than the pizza spot.
I think everybody just wants to see the pizza spots.
Like, no, I think
he making the best pizza.
I mean, does he?
That might be what I have for dinner on Thursday. At Pinballs, I'll have some pizza.
I have not eaten at that Pinballs.
I've had their Philly cheesesteak. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. What did I have last time? I think I had nachos or something. They're okay, but I like the Philly cheesesteak better. So. Okay, so this is for the tag titles.
Yeah, so now it makes me just
Ooh,
wonder, like,
interesting.
a whole bunch of things for Extreme Rules. It's all like,
Yeah.
are they going to let them win the tag titles to bring them up to the main roster so they have something to talk about on Friday
I
going
don't
into
know.
Extreme Rules? And then that means that Pretty Deadly will get like a call up. Because I like them as a tag team.
Yeah.
I like
Pretty
them a
Deadly's
lot.
fun. Yeah.
And they got a good look to him. And that's something
They
that
do.
I feel
you
that...
should have seen the beginning. They were dressed up. They had the red, and they had the powdered wigs, and
super
oh my
English-like.
God, it was fantastic.
Now, is this NXT the last one of...
No, this is live.
Okay, so this
So
is
we are
live.
seeing,
So,
and you can tell they've changed up. It's not. It's a little bit of color splotch, but it's more red, yellow, orange. It's not like the rainbow of colors.
yeah, they kind of found a happy medium to me.
Yeah.
And I like it. It looks good to me.
Yeah,
Because
with the clean logo.
Yeah, because I like I for one actually like the rainbow stuff because I like colors. So it was like this where it keeps like, you know, the orange, yellow, and the touches of red in
Yeah.
it. It really does fit well with
And
that
it's
NXT
not.
logo.
It's not as bright. It brings in a little bit of the dark. You know, it's not. It's a little darker, which I didn't mind in the old NXT. So
Oh, the dinginess.
yeah.
Yeah, because it was supposed to kind of be like the old
Kind
school.
of the old school. You know, the back in the territory days.
But it, you know, it's just because now that it's on live TV and stuff, it had to turn into a real product, like a
Yeah.
real made-for-TV product. And I understood what the whole revamp was, but I really do like what we're seeing now. I think it looks great.
Yeah. So yeah.
Makes me wonder if they're going to wrestle twice this week before Extreme Rules. Because I mean,
you notice
what-
we didn't have a bit of AEW news.
I mean, that's kind of on them. I mean, what you want to
It
just
is.
talk about?
No,
How Sammy and
Andrade.
yeah, you know, are having this feud through Twitter, and I can't
I
tell
will
if it's
say
a work
this.
or if it's real or if it's
Tony Khan needs to get a handle on it. I mean, this is coming off the heels. The whole thing with Sammy and Eddie Kingston, and everything else, and it's.
But like, I don't remember
It's
Sammy
not gonna
being.
Look, it's not going. It's yeah. I don't either.
I'm
but
not going to say like I'm best friends with him or anything like that. But
Oh, we've known him.
But like, you know, I've seen his work for a really long time on the independent scene, and I've obviously we hear rumblings and stuff when people aren't good people to work
Yeah.
with, and I never heard that about him.
I didn't either, so I don't know. But
I mean,
whatever it is, they need. Tony needs to clamp it down. It's not a good look on the company, and especially with them, you know, soon going into negotiations for the TV rights.
Because I mean, the real talk would, if you're talking about AEW, really just revolves around if you miss CM Punk or not. And I, for one, even though I have Best in the World tattooed on me, you know, it's partially inspired by him. It's just all like, I don't miss him. I don't care.
Do you miss Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks?
Yeah, because that's what the whole expectation was when they started AEW, is that you're going to get to see.
They're the elite of all elite wrestling. So
Well, you were going to get to see the best bout machine. You
Yeah.
know, the guy that has been stowed away in Japan for so many years because he loved working in Japan.
right, well,
And
then
he wasn't going to be a
eventually-
WWE guy.
Yeah, I mean, he eventually takes all that time off to, you know, have heal up and everything. He
Much
comes
needed.
back. You know, you felt like maybe he was starting to get his legs up under him again, and then all that happened, and now we're not going to see him for. Well, don't know and we don't know what's happening.
And we lost the match between him and Vicino.
Yeah,
That would have been an amazing match to see. One of the best high flyers in the world. And I'm telling you, if you have not seen
Yeah.
Vicino wrestle, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, he just does some stuff. And that's because we've seen Young Gray Mysterio. This guy just does things I've never, ever seen. I mean, better than Ricochet in some instances.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I said, Kenny came back. He was, starting to look like the Kenny Omega of old, and then all of a sudden, they get suspended, and we haven't even heard a peep. They're not being referenced.
yeah, how is that good for business? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy
I
that
don't know.
MJF is back, but it's like, who are you going to have him feud with now? Like
Outside
everything
of
was
Moxley.
Yeah, but I don't care. I just don't care though. That's what sucks.
He's the champion. So
well, good for him, but he shouldn't even be the champ. It should be Danielson right now, and then Moxley could have it back. And I'm not taking anything away from John Moxley. I know that he obviously is the guy, the MVP of AEW, easily.
Yeah.
Because every time they need somebody to step in, it's going to be him because he can carry it. But it's just all like, dang, you really think about how everything has transformed since Punk was there. It's like you lost your one homegrown superstar as champion in Hangman Adam Page. You know, where is he? Haven't heard anything about him.
He's on this week, I think.
But see?
You know who else is on this week we haven't seen in like forever? Brian Cage.
Oh, yeah?
He's facing Wardlow, I think, for the TNT title.
Wasn't Lance Archer on like last week or something like that too?
He was on Elevation. He was on Dark Elevation taking on Cheeseburger.
Oh, okay.
From Ring of Honor.
I'm glad that Cheeseburger is getting some work.
Yeah. They even brought in Dalton Castle and the boys to defend the Ring of Honor 6-man titles. But
again, it just kind of like, what are you going to do with Ring of Honor? You know, like you have this name, you can honor all this past.
That's the ongoing. Mike and I even talked about that last week, and it's kind of like, I don't know, you know. I
mean, great to have that tape library.
Yeah,
that's a great tape library to have, and because you have a lot of those workers.
Yeah,
but it's just all like, what are you going to do with it? Like, what is this? What is this ROH World Championship run do for Chris Jericho? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Unless he's
it's might be, I don't know. I think they're going to do something. Jericho's going to. He said last week on Dynamite he wants to destroy everything that Ring of Honor meant, and all this good stuff. So I think it's going to lead up to somebody rising up and taking the title off of him.
Because it kind of gives me vibes of the, old ECW, like when WWE had first purchased it and they tried to have the originals, but it's like, okay, so Jericho's basically beat all the ROH originals already. So it's like, is Bryan Danielson supposed to rise up and take the belt back from Jericho?
I think that might be it.
You think that's really going to be the story?
I think it's possible.
And I'm also concerned with them in the sense of young talent. Because it's like, okay, great, you have Wheeler Yuta,
well,
great, you got Garcia.
We don't know what Ring of Honor is going to look like if there is a Ring of Honor.
No, but I was just talking about AEW in general. When you got a guy like Yuta, when you got young guys like Garcia, I'm just like, no offense, but they don't have the charisma for me. They got the wrestling skill, but where's the rest of it?
Yeah.
It's not like a knock against them personally or anything like that, but I'm just being honest. If you're shooting a pro wrestling show, we can tell who Pretty Deadly is. They got a look. They got a charisma about them, regardless if they were good workers or not. But that's more than half of the presentation.
Yeah.
The other that other third of it is whether you can wrestle or not. But you got to have a look and you got to be able to talk if you can't wrestle.
That's true. That's very true.
But you can't just get by on just pure wrestling. And don't get me wrong, you do need people to fill in the mid card, but it's just all like, with their wrestling skill, they should be further up, but they need to develop the rest of their game to go along with it.
Yeah, I agree.
But
we don't know. But again, we don't know what they're. Like I said, we still don't know what they're going to do with Ring of Honor, and like I said, we've heard, Tony saying, "I've had great talks with Warner Bros. Discovery." We've heard that for 6 months. When's something going to happen? So.
Or even go the Inspire route and put it at least on YouTube. I don't understand why there's no ROH show on YouTube if you have this deep roster that doesn't even make the main show, let alone Elevation or Dark.
That's because Tony says he wants it on TV.
I mean,
he wants it on TV.
I know, but even NXT had to start off of a.
I agree. But unfortunately, I'm not the one writing the checks. So.
Well, call him up and tell him that that you need a job in the office or something. You got his number, right?
No, thank you.
Do you got at least his secretary's
I'm
number?
going to stick to my state job and my sports radio gig, and that's it.
Ooh, that was nice.
That was cool.
I mean, they're a good team too.
Rower, hook the leg.
But it is, I will admit, it is kind of funny seeing, the rise of Pete Dunne, only for him to kind of be slotted into a tag team. But it's worked out well since he's made the transition to the main roster. Man. Yeah, but I'm just like, who are the top?
Hey, we finally got the script for Thursday night. Yay, that's good.
Will it be revised between now and then?
That might be.
Yeah, so you learn all your points like tonight or tomorrow, or how do you normally go about it?
I'll peruse it, but I'm not going to go heavily by it. I kind of go the Jim Ross route. I like to be surprised, so I'll just call it as I see it.
That's so difficult in pro wrestling because I would know like I would have to ask questions, and I try to do that because I really wanted to be surprised.
I mean, I
too.
know, yeah. I mean, these folks, we've seen them enough, or I've seen it enough to where I know what to look for. But no, but yeah, I kind of I kind of like not knowing the finish.
Exactly, but sometimes I have to ask like the promoter or whoever writes the story like what they're going for, and then they kind of let you know the finish. I'm like, no, I don't want to know, but it's to reach the proper tone. Sometimes like, you kind of have to know.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird happy medium that I'm looking for.
Yeah,
But I'm like, theirs is very story driven, so I'm just like, you have to read your script. But it's like, how do you stop from figuring out what happens?
That's true. That's true. We are going to sign off on YouTube and Twitch. Thanks to everybody that joined us. We'll be back next week to recap Extreme Rules and everything. Have a great week. Remember, it is 9:06 p.m. and OU still sucks.